Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our afternoon edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars. This is Eviction Day. This is also Endurance Head of Household Day. They've claimed Big Brother has that the feeds are going to be on so that we can watch this HoH competition live after the show. Whatever it is, we will be back to discuss it, hopefully, as long as it doesn't go 200 hours tonight.
Yeah, if it's 1 in the morning, we'll catch you guys tomorrow.
But we'll see how it plays out. I know that I can already sense it in your head that you are hoping that this is the slip and slide, people falling HoH competition.
I love that comp, but I just don't know if we're going to see that or OTAB this year because it feels like there's a lot of setup for that, and there's probably a bit of a skeleton crew working to set stuff up.
We'll see exactly what it is, thankfully, in just a handful of hours, but we're going to sort of take you through the path to eviction tonight, what we think could be happening, some conversations that are going on about the game, who could be working with who moving forward, and also a little bit about Ian's puppet, Isaac, because we love Ian. Ian is, well, our version of Isaac is in the thumbnail for this picture.
We also love dinosaurs.
We do, and so there's our support for Ian, and we talked a little bit about the Memphis situation in our video last night. You can check that out in the link in the description. But before we go further here, if you do like this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more live feed updates, and support us further by checking those links to the store and also our Patreon, where we do live chats last Sunday of every month.
We also want to say thank you to everybody. We hit 40,000 subscribers last night. We had mentioned it in our video yesterday, and we woke up this morning and we were there. And we just really want to say thank you to everybody. We're going to be doing a Nerds Night In tomorrow on Friday at 5 o'clock. PST, so if you want to join us tomorrow evening, we're going to celebrate, we're going to have some wine, we're going to tell some stories, and talk a little bit about BB, of course, and a little bit of an origin of our YouTube channel and sort of how it all came about. We are really thankful for this. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, and I think it's going to be a fun night, and hopefully you'll be able to be there, and hopefully we'll have some fun Big Brother related things to talk about. Of course, so much of that is going to depend on what happens with whatever this HoH competition is going to be.
Yes, and also who wins. So who do you think is going to go?
It's going to be Bailey. Like, that seems to be the thing. Bailey knows it. Everyone in the house knows it. It's not a secret at this point. I think ultimately Davon has kind of moved past this eviction at this point, and she's just trying to plan ahead and trying to figure out, okay, who can I legitimately work with now moving forward?
Yeah, and there are people in the house that really want her to stick around, you know. Ian and Tyler both want Christmas to also stick around, as well as Davon, because they think that these two will just continue to sort of take shots at each other and focus on each other. That keeps everything off of Ian and Tyler, so, I mean, it's not a bad plan.
Their name is the insurance policy, which just the name itself kind of suggests that both of them know that this isn't really that serious of an alliance. It's like
it's great.
In case everything else goes bad, we're kind of sort of working together.
No, it's a great name because it is absolutely what it is, and they both know it.
And that's fine. At least owning it with the name, and it's a better name than the Slick Six or the Tickle Monsters or something.
Which we've never heard.
Yeah, well, or any.
It's all gone now.
Thank goodness that is gone. But I think I'm a little bit more hardened for Ian moving forward this week than I was potentially a few days ago, because if this is an endurance competition, I think there's a good chance Memphis and his back are not going to win it. That alleviates one person who wants to get rid of him.
I hope he doesn't win it.
If Memphis wins this competition, I gotta find something ridiculously crazy to do, because my eyes will just like fly out of my head.
You are going to have to stop me from quitting the season.
Okay.
This wins. No, I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm riding this till the wheels fall off. But I won't be happy.
This will be. You thought the darkest timeline was here before. Just you. Okay, but no. Enzo, I think, is sort of targeting Ian as well. But there are other people who are sort of trying to keep him around a little while, and Nicole is to some extent one of them. Their Million Club Alliance, I think, has at least a certain degree of weight, because I think she's sort of helping to keep Cody from wanting to go after him right away.
Yeah, and it's interesting, too, about Cody, because Ian is not sort of first on his list of pecking order of who's got to go out. It's Kevin first, which is a little bit surprising. I mean, Kevin, yeah, they're not working together or anything, but Kevin comes across that he doesn't really have any allies, and people like him all right, but there's nobody that's really going to ride or die with him to the end. I mean, it is kind of what it is. And then after that is still not Ian. It's David, who, again, is someone that's just like, is David really a threat to you, Cody? And then it's Ian, and then it's Davon.
I feel like Cody's pecking order, or at least the pecking order he's giving to Nicole, it's all based on the, how am I going to make the fewest amount of people mad in the immediate future? And I'm guessing Cody still has enough confidence in the number of allies that he has and his ability to win competitions that it's okay for him to leave around people like Ian a little bit longer. Because, yeah, Kevin's reads have been pretty bad, other than maybe like the past couple of days where he's been batting slightly higher than his average, and like he's not an enormous, incredible, fear me sort of threat.
Neither is David. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, these are people that Cody is targeting that he thinks are just gonna make no waves and make it a really easy ride for him to get to the end.
And I guess it seems to have been working because, you know, at this point a week ago we were kind of dealing with the aftermath of the most noteworthy of all the wall yellers.
Yeah.
Now, it just seems like so much attention is being diverted to other places. I mean, there's been a lot of attention on Christmas for pretty obvious reasons. Ian still has a little bit of a target. Kevin's got a little bit of a target now. Of course, depending on who wins head of household, David has sort of already talked about how he thinks he's got the main alliance figured out here of Cody and Danny and Nicole and Ian, which not entirely accurate, but he's not that far off.
No, and it's so weird that we're in a spot right now that David's really in one of the best spots right now, because let's just say he wins this HoH and he still has his power for the next week. I mean, he could be around a little while now.
He could be around, and we're all sort of doing our own thing in David's clown car at the moment, because we've all got like our air horns and other stuff, and we're making like "Go David" for HoH signs.
That's right, and pieing each other in the face.
We're all gonna do this, and then he's gonna nominate Ian, and then we're all gonna pie ourselves in her face, because this is what's gonna happen if David gets this power. He's gonna bring up somebody like a Nicole or a Danny to a wrong person, and then they're gonna be like, well, why don't you do Ian instead?
This is what I am worried a little bit about David, but the thing is David is such a wild card. I just want to see what's gonna happen there. I just don't really know with him, and since the season has been so predictable, David bringing a little bit of a wild card action in here is something that I would be happy to see. Just any kind of shakeup, give me something, and I don't know where David's gonna land on anything, and that's exciting.
I think if this is the slip and slide HoH, I think David would actually have a pretty decent chance. I would be kind of worried about Cody because he is like a soccer player.
Yeah.
He's going to do really, really well. But if this is a stand on a wall competition, I think pretty much David's probably toast. Like, you know, bigger guys have a hard time with that.
Yeah, at that point we might be looking at like a Nicole or a Danny HoH.
Come on, Ian.
Put on your hard hats, guys.
I will wear my imaginary Isaac the Puppet hat rooting for Ian in that wall competition.
Yep.
I don't know if they have time to build the wall competition with the skeleton crew. I kind of doubt it, but
yeah, I'm kind of wondering that as well.
Let's get into Kevin, because we've talked a little bit about Kevin. He's starting to figure some stuff out.
Yep.
Not perfect.
No.
Still too obsessed with Janelle, but he's figuring some stuff out, and he had a talk with Davon where he's trying to encourage her to just try to stick with David for now. And Bailey has even sort of indicated this as well, because she wants Davon to obviously do well even if she goes. And, you know, David may not be the most trustworthy person 24/7 or anything, or even close not. But he's not going after Davon now. You have to sort of just go by convenience at this point. And if Kevin, Davon, David all get on the actual same page, there's a chance that they might be able to make something happen if they get HoH.
That's it. They have to win something. This has been just the season of no underdogs can win HoH. So it's like, yeah, we'll have Devon and David and Kevin together. Yeah, but then they don't win anything and they're just going to keep getting picked off. So this is where then Kevin also wants to loop in Enzo, who can win some stuff. It's just, where is Enzo really going to end up landing in this? He is very loyal to alliances. This is something that he's showed us in the past, and he is showing us again. So I just don't know.
I'm going to do my impression of Enzo having this conversation, hypothetically, with Kevin or Davon. Yo, let's do it. I'm game. We're going to make some big moves, yo. Then 10 minutes later, here's my impression of Enzo to Cody. Yo, you got to hear what these other people just told me about, man. Like, I know Enzo's playing his own game, and he's not always following Cody, but that's just what I'm worried about. Like, that's been the problem with a lot of this season, is telling the one wrong person something, and then they just scatter off, and the information just dissipates everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. Enzo will do a very good job of making it feel genuine that he will be with them. He is so good at that.
And I think Enzo would deposit information until he absolutely needed to. Like, he would wait and see what happens, because maybe it's information he wouldn't want to pass along right away because it could hurt him.
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't always pass information along.
Let's get into a Nicole update, everyone, because Nicole is unhappy, and she's unhappy with Danny because Danny and Cody are getting so close, and she's starting to feel betrayed that maybe Danny doesn't view her as well as she had hoped that she would within the game.
It's kind of crazy that Nicole, this many weeks in, has only figured that out, because Danny has felt like she has gotten upset over and over and over again about how Cody is not returning, that she is basically, you know, trying to be number one with him, that's her number one guy, and bringing all this information. She's always feeding stuff to Cody, that it took this long for Nicole to figure it out. Especially since Nicole and Danny are together all the time.
It's baffling. Maybe this has all been sort of building up in her head, and now she's just vocalizing it or whatever else. Like, I don't think it's going to have an impact in the game, you know, this coming week or the week after either, but I think it's something that may play out over time, because clearly from the outside looking in, Danny tells Cody everything, and I feel like that's where she ultimately sort of leans towards. But we gotta end here on something I think a little bit positive, because it has been a rough past couple of days for Ian.
Yep.
We talked a lot about just the really just awfulness that Memphis was sort of going at and making fun of him and his autism and things that are out of his control,
and Nicole and Danny laughing at it.
Yeah, all of that was terrible and just disrespectful and mean, and there's a lot of headlines out there that they're all going to have to deal with after the show, but one of the things that I've heard them sort of make fun of here and there, because some of this was kind of regurgitated again last night with Memphis, is Isaac, which is the dinosaur puppet that Ian has. You know, we are both big Ian fans, and you know, we're also dinosaur fans, but more.
Yes, we are.
We're fans of people being treated with respect and kindness. And yeah, we rag on people here or there for fun. It's all about the game. It's all about fun. And this is just personal and mean. But this is the story of Isaac. For those who didn't know, this is a puppet that Ian got at IKEA years ago, and he was using it in his classes. And that was sort of the idea behind it. And so this entire puppet was sort of born out of this idea of wanting to help others and wanting to sort of find a fun, connective way in which to do so. And that's kind of what Isaac symbolizes in the house. It's something that's fun. It's an extension of who Ian is. And Ian should be built up. He should be treated with respect. And yes, get him out if you're threatened by him within the game. This is Big Brother. Nobody, you know, Ian wouldn't want, you know, charity or anything else, but treat him like a human being along the way.
Absolutely. And yes, he is a threat in this game. Cody laid it out like a few weeks ago where he was like, yeah, this is sort of how Ian played last time, where he kind of laid low for the first half and then he like won comp after comp and got everyone out and then he won. And sort of the same thing is happening here where it's kind of laying low, laying low, laying low. We're starting to get kind of closer to that middle point. Then it's going to be a problem, and Ian's just going to roll over everybody to the winner's circle.
At this point, I kind of hope it happens.
Me too.
I want Ian to win. There's a part of me that wants to just nominate Memphis. That's because I'm spiteful, but I don't think it's the best move for him at this point. But ultimately, we'll see what happens. We will say goodbye, presumably, to Bailey after the episode tonight, which I'm going to miss Bailey on the live feeds. I think she's been pretty fun this season.
Yeah, she has been.
But what do you guys want to see happen tonight? Who do you want to see evicted? Who do you want to see? I know, really.
Reset button.
Somebody, Isaac, go to the diary room. Grab the reset button. Let us know who you do want to see win HoH in the comments. We'll be back later. Give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check those links to the store or Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.